All right, guys, so NFTs at the moment are absolutely insane. The volume on OpenSea is through the roof and projects are selling out everywhere. And a lot of people are making a lot of money. And also there are people losing money, of course. But this is a huge opportunity at the moment. And there's a particular area within NFTs that I want to dive into in this video. Before I do, let's just go into OpenSea volume very quickly so you can see what I'm talking about. So NFTs went through kind of a mini bear market in October and November. Things really quietened down, and even December, to be fair, you can see here, were quite quiet. And if you look at January, this is the volume on OpenSea. So OpenSea is the leading NFT marketplace for Ethereum-based NFTs. So it is the best indicator in the market, and you can see at the moment it is absolutely huge. And if you look at this bar here, which is the monthly volume, the January monthly volume is already the biggest one we've ever seen in the NFT space. And it's the 17th of January today. So by the end of January, this is going to be huge. And the chances are that's going to continue for a couple of months, I reckon, at the moment. Basically, what's happened is the crypto market has pulled back. We're not sure yet whether we're going bear, but certainly it doesn't look like we're going to be going up anytime soon, or not up significantly anyway. There might be some range-ins. So all of the people like myself who actually want to make some money have decided to just park their crypto assets for now, leave them as they are until things recover. And now we've gone degenning back into NFTs. So I'm diving back into NFTs. I really enjoyed it the first time around in kind of September, October time. And now I'm back into NFTs. The volume is huge. Like I say, there are lots of projects selling out all the time. Floor prices are going up. But there is one particular area that I want you guys to be aware of, because this has only really taken off in the past week or so. And if you get into this and do the right research and pick the right projects, you could make a lot of money. But obviously the usual caveat applies. You could also lose everything you invest. Playing with NFTs is the ultimate degen play. It's very high risk reward. So just be aware of that before you dive into NFTs. So just to kind of validate this about the volume, I tweeted, this was on the 5th of November, so just over 2 months ago. You could see the decline in volume on OpenSea at the time. So we'd gone from over 100 million volume, looking at the purple line here, per day, $100 million in OpenSea volume per day, all the way down to kind of 20, 30 million per day. So things had really dropped off. But we've recovered nicely now. And if we go to the same source, so this was from DApp Radar, and you can see that the volume around the end of December was just under 50 million per day. And by the middle of January, we're up to over 150 million. So things have really recovered. And it just validates what we're seeing here in the June.xyz stats, showing huge volume in January and huge daily volume graphs as well. So we're certainly in a bullish NFT market at the moment. I'm expecting that to continue for a month or two at least, while crypto sorts itself out. Now, the particular area that I want to focus on in this video is historic NFTs. So what we've seen over the past week, and this is quite a recent thing, some of these projects did pop off a year or so ago, but more so in the past week, what we're seeing is a number of these projects get traction on social media, and they go from pretty much being dormant to seeing a flurry of activity and floor prices rising very, very quickly. And if you followed me on Twitter, you'd have seen a tweet from me over the weekend about one of the projects that I jumped into. So this is one of the guys I want to show you on Twitter. So this is Leonidas.eth, or you can follow him at Leonidas.nft. And he has very kindly put together a history of the known NFTs at this time. Now, there are some other NFTs that I've seen popping up that aren't necessarily on this diagram. Pretty much the way to think about it is that the older the NFT is, the chances are, if it does get social traction, then it's potentially going to be more valuable than the more recent ones, because I can't remember who said it, but basically these historic NFTs cannot be replaced. Whereas at the moment, there's so many NFT projects being launched and minted, it's very hard to distinguish between them. But you can't create history. So these ones are the ones that were created at the time. There will never be any more than what is currently there. So that is why there seems to be kind of a bull run on these, and the floor prices are lifting. So if you're not subscribed to him, I recommend subscribing. Also, what he did as well on this particular tweet, he went through every single project and added some more details about them. So worth subscribing and having a read through there just to do your own research on this sector. But like I say, there are a few projects which aren't actually on here, and those are some of the ones that have been popping off in the past few days as well. So Just to kind of touch on historic NFTs, Cryptopunks is probably the most famous by now. I think even people that aren't into NFTs have probably heard of Cryptopunks. And these really took off last year. So this isn't a recent thing, but I just wanted to give it to you as an example of how much value these things can get to. Now, I'm not saying some of the projects we're going to be looking at in this video are going to get to this value, but it does show if people see a scarce historic asset, that it has the potential to get a very high floor price. So basically the floor price for these guys is so high that no one's actually listing any for sale. But if we go to the activity tab and see what the recent sales have been, and you can see here, 60 Ethereum, 83 Ethereum, 111 Ethereum. You know, and Ethereum at the moment is just over $3,000. So this would have been, well, you can see here, just under $200,000 for 60 Ethereum for one of these. Now, for people that aren't into NFTs, I can understand you looking at this and just not really understanding why anyone would spend so much money on these. And there's all these arguments about taking a print screen and say, you know, copy paste and stuff like that. But ultimately, those arguments don't matter if there's value in the market and there's an opportunity to make money. So what I've tried to do with all of these is park my own personal feelings about whether I think these individual assets are valuable to one side and just react to what the market's actually doing. So I'm trading the market, not trading my emotions. So just to touch on a couple more, Cryptoskulls was, or is, I would say, the leader in this recent revival. So a couple of weeks ago, Cryptoskulls started to gain traction. And I think in one day went from pretty much worthless to over to Ethereum floor price. And this is a historic NFT as well. And if we go to the activity tab, what you want to see on these activity tabs for a historic NFT that is starting to get traction is exactly what you see here. So no activity, so you can put this over the last 90 days. And then all of a sudden you start to get some blue bars and the line starts to increase. Now, I genuinely focus on the blue bars because the blue bars is the volume of sales, the number of sales, whereas the blue line is the value of the average value of those sales. So one good sale could potentially provide a massive spike, even if the bars are quite low. So what you want to see is some activity, and that shows there's renewed interest in that project. Then what you want to do is jump onto social media, jump onto Twitter, go into the relevant discords and see what's actually happening and decide whether there's an opportunity still within those projects. A couple of examples, we've got EtherLambos, that's another one that has started to make more sales recently in the past week or so. You can see here the blue bars have started to reappear. And the one that I tweeted about on Saturday, I think Saturday night, I tweeted about this. I was actually, I won't say what I was doing, but let's just say I was passing the time and I saw this pop up. So it was a proper, you know, degen move. I saw it pop up. Someone mentioned it about being a historic NFT. The floor price, I think, was less than 0.2 ETH when I jumped in. Actually, we can go to my tweet from Saturday. Let's go back and find it. That was my original tweet here where I said just aped or pandered into the PandaEarth NFT. It's seen a huge spike on OpenSea, which I'll show you in a moment, and is older than Cryptoskulls, which, as I showed you, has gone to over to Ethereum floor price, and that recently blew up. Finally, living up to the name, this is proper degen stuff, and it is, if you get into any of these projects, it is super high risk. Do not play with any money you cannot afford to lose. So when I jumped in, the floor price was just under 0.2, and then by later that evening, it was pretty much doubled to 0.38. Now, it has pulled back at the moment, I think, to around about 0.3. I'm going to hold for a bit longer, though. I could sell at profit at the moment, but I'm going to hold a bit longer because I think if this trend continues and the historic NFTs get more and more traction, projects like this, especially ones like PandaEarth, where I actually think the visuals are quite nice, I think they have the potential to go a lot higher. So I'm gonna hold this for another week or two and see what the market does overall. Whilst we're on Twitter, if you're not following me, you can follow me at Darren the Degen. I tweet on there pretty much most days, and I also will post all of the NFTs that I jump into. So on Saturday, I posted about the fact I jumped into PandaEarth, and this morning I've just jumped into one called a Rengoku Legends. So that is a public mint for that tonight, but I've bought one of the pre-sale that someone else resold on OpenSea. So follow me on there for all of my latest tweets about NFTs and crypto in general. Now, the next one I want to show you, which is, actually, let me go to PandaEarth first, and I'll show you the activity tab. Let's click on that. I don't know why it's not loading. There we go. You can see when I jumped in on Saturday, it was the first big blue bar, 760 sales on Saturday, and there's 184 yesterday, and we've got 143 so far today. So the blue line's going up, so the floor price is being skewed upwards by the high volume transactions, or so to say the high value transactions that have taken place. But volume is okay at the moment, and that's why I'm willing to hold, because there's still some transactions going through, a few every hour or so, and we'll see where this goes over the next week or two, especially if this trend spreads and more people jump into this space. And another one I saw on one of the alpha groups this morning, which again, I'll come back to alpha groups in a moment, is Cryptobots. And if we go to the activity tab, I'm sure we'll see a similar story, yeah, with the blue bars starting to appear in the last week or so and sales starting to take place. So that's what you want to be looking for, is historic NFTs that are seeing recent increases in the number of sales per day, and that suggests it's starting to get some traction. Then what you want to do is jump onto Twitter, jump onto Discord, do your research, jump onto the relevant alpha groups, find out what's going on and see whether it's a project you want to get invested in. Now, I see a lot of people talking about alpha groups, so they're basically groups of what you'd say intelligent people that are sharing good information about NFTs or other subjects, and they're quite hard to get into, but I found quite a good one at the weekend from AdamMcBride.eth, the NFT archaeologist. So there's a link to the Discord there, and the alpha group, you can see people talking about old NFTs that they found. Now be careful in these alpha groups, as you will get people just randomly turning up and shilling, but it'll become very clear very soon if they are just shills, as other people will offer their opinions. But the alpha groups and Twitter combined are the best places to find these plays and get ideas for potential products or projects that you might be interested in getting into. So hopefully you guys have found that video useful. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. That would be very much appreciated. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow me at DarrenTheDegen. If you want to see more from me, subscribe to the channel. And what I'll do now is pop up 2 NFT related videos for you guys to watch.